Hey guys, how you doing? How are you all doing, all you wonderful beings of light and truth seekers? Jez Sadler here for Circles Healing Tarot, and this time around this is your new moon phase reading, which is from Wednesday the 19th of August until Tuesday the 25th of August. So it's for the next 6-7 days or so, and I'm using the Gilded tarot deck for this reading. So this is for this new moon period, and we know that that's when the moon goes completely dark and it sucks in all its energy, ready to move on to the next cycle. So this cycle, particular cycle, this moon cycle that we're in currently, is coming to an end. And you can feel that. I feel the energy kind of withdrawing a bit, and and also within myself, I feel myself going more within. Being more introspective, more reflective, and it's that kind of energy, isn't it? That happens around about this time, the end of a moon cycle, and then with the new moon, it kind of it's a bit like when one of the planets, like such as Mercury or whatever, goes retrograde and then it goes direct. It kind of like stops and then starts to slowly move forward. That's the kind of energy that's coming from Wednesday onwards, leading into the next phase. So let's have a look to see what the cards would like us to be aware of during this period of the 19th to the 25th of August 2020. Okay, so let's have a look, see what we have. Oh, right, okay. So, what have we got here? We start off with Ten of Cups, happy families. Okay, so here we can see very happy scene, family scene, prosperous, and got all them wonderful cups forming like a kind of a halo around the house. We've got this family sitting here enjoying the garden, the cats playing, lots of green grounded energy as well, because green is also to do with the body, so it's the more material side of things really, but it means also in this case, because it's linked with the water energy of the cups, it's more to do with your emotions. You're grounded, you're much more grounded, and your mind's not gone left, right and centre, it's not skitching about all over the place. So this is where you are on the 19th. You're kind of settled, and you're ready actually to maybe move on to something new, or to carry on as you are. It all depends how you feel. We have also in the center of the reading, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, and this is like new moon energy, isn't it? This is where the knight is ready. He's kind of looking around. The horse is kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, there's something down there, but they're not moving. Lots of green energy, grounded energy. So some call this a stuck in the mud, because it's not going anywhere. Even the rabbit right down here, like, he's saying, well, now there's something down there, but why aren't you going for it? The knight seems to be preoccupied by looking off to his left somewhere. You got a lot of blue in the sky and surrounding, all around here and so on. That indicates thoughts. So perhaps you're kind of making a decision. This is like a decision time. You haven't quite made that decision what to do next, or you're in the planning stage. Okay. Then we have Three of Cups. Okay, so it's party time. And I have three ladies here having a great time. You can see the cups, two cups pour into another cup, overflowing with abundance. And this is what could be on the way to you. This is a kind of energy that you want, more upbeat energy. And with the new moon, being as it is on the Wednesday, as it starts to move forward into Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, it starts to pick up speed. And this is where we are at the moment. We started off in a kind of stuck position, kind of settled position, and then it's deciding, oh, let's move forward. Then now it starts to move forward and starts picking up speed towards the weekend, the coming weekend, and you're into party mode. Then there's a lot of intuition here. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of earth energy, mind energy. All the elements here are pretty much represented in one form or another. A lot of joyous and happiness. So there's a happy outcome on the way, because as it gets closer, the moon starts kicking into the next phase, going towards like the half moon stage. You see here the Three of Pentacles. This is the master craftsman at work here. So this is something that's already been made, and it's something he's just finished. He's just examining it, and he's a master of what he does. And he's in demand. Because of the way he is, because of his success in being a super craftsman, he's in demand, and he has to watch out that he's not overly in demand. You could become too popular as well, because the final card is the Eight of Swords, and this is where you feel like a bit of an overwhelm. You feel like, wow, I don't know where to go. You got this young lady here who's blindfolded, surrounded by swords, and her hands are loosely tied with a cord. She could quite easily unravel that, and she could free herself from that and take the blindfold off and just walk out from the swords. But this is thoughts now. This is perhaps you're becoming very popular. And maybe it gets a little bit overwhelming. You start having some doubts towards the end of this first phase as to what's going to be happening. How are things going to move forward from here? Am I going to be able to achieve what it is I set out to achieve? Because in a sense, this is where you want to go back to, isn't it? This is where you want to be. You want to be in this happy, settled state. You want that to continue, but at the same time, you don't want to be complacent, is what I'm getting. There is a tendency for complacency to come in. You've got a certain amount of success, perhaps. Perhaps a new business venture, or perhaps a promotion, and things are going on nice and steady. And it's the same old, and you're having wonderful success with it. And you're very skilled at what you do. However, some doubts creep in, because you're in great demand. You're wondering, well, have I taken on too much? Have I bitten off more than I can chew? You get this sometimes, well, I say many times. Say in the sales industry, if you're like a salesperson out on the road, getting sales, and they still do that today. Although much of it's done online, but you have your targets to reach, and you reach your targets, and the company turns around and says, yeah, we're going to increase your targets by another 50%, and you keep doing that, and it comes to a certain stage, then you just feel kind of stuck and overwhelmed, because, well, what am I doing? I'm making the company all this money. Yes, I'm getting some success out of it, and I'm getting notoriety out of it, but I'm not getting this. This is dwindling. This is fading away. I'm feeling this kind of energy, kind of this stuck in the mud, the same old routine kind of energy, and that's something throughout this first phase of the new moon, until it goes to like half moon kind of stage. you could be feeling that something needs to change. I need to maybe look elsewhere. If this is, depending on how this resonates for you, because not everything on this is going to resonate with everyone, obviously, but this could also be, say, within a relationship where it's hit kind of like, yeah, we're comfortable, we've got the lifestyle and so on, or we're happy where we are, and but there's something missing. You just feel there's something missing. It's a bit of a stalemate kind of situation, and you'd like to maybe pep it up a bit, to rejuvenate the energy within that relationship, because this is the new moon period. This is where the moon starts to pick up energy, and starts to share the energy that it's drawn into itself, and it starts to send that energy out, and we feel that here on this planet, because we're 80% water. We start feeling that energy coming in, and it starts helping us to feel more upbeat. Okay, so we want that in our lives. We want to be more upbeat. We don't want to be owls. We want to be tigers bouncing about all the time, and being optimistic and enjoying life, having the good times. We want to enjoy the prosperity of life as well, and they want to have that recognition, for the things that we do. But what we don't want is to kind of be stuck in the mud, and we start having our doubts, because that could easily turn all this upside down, couldn't it? Quite easily, if you allow these thoughts, these feelings of being trapped, I'm trapped, I can't go anywhere. You can just open your hands, open your arms, and you just take the blindfold off, and off you go. But if you allow this to take over, you start creating little scenarios in your head, the old what ifs, and if I did that, all these kinds of little stories, these negative stories that are there in the subconscious mind. And excuse my phone going off again, sorry. There in the subconscious mind, based on previous experiences. Things that either you yourself have experienced, or what others have experienced that you have witnessed, and you've taken on board to keep for yourself. These little things that say, all right, now you're getting to the point now, you can't have any more success. You got to stay where you are. You got to stay in that comfort zone. You can't go beyond it, but you can, because you can release those bonds. Okay, you can release these, take that blindfold off, and walk out. There's nothing stopping you, and you can do that this week. There's nothing wrong with planning. There's nothing wrong with enjoying what you have and being grateful for it as well. So having an attitude of gratitude is certainly highly recommended. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't get complacent about what you've got. Don't get stuck in this particular comfort zone when you can be creating something better. You can improve on your situation to make this even better. Make this a 9 of cups. It can go from say it's a 10 of cups, but the 9 of cups is supposed to be really, really successful. But this is the pinnacle. Don't forget, a 10 is also a transition card, because after the 10 it goes back to 1. Okay, because 1 and 0 is a 1, it goes back to 1. So you could quite easily end up back where you started. Okay, and which is not really what you want, is it? You want to move forward. You want to go beyond the knight. You want to become the king and queen of pentacles. You want to get to that kind of world situation where everything's complete, where you've fulfilled your purpose. And to be honest, within our lifetimes, we never really truly fulfill our purpose, because it's always ongoing. It's an ongoing journey. Doesn't mean to say you can't enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? And we take each thing step by step. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck to see what we got here. See, we've got 7 of wands. 7 of swords, sorry. And this, to me, many people say, this is a thief and things like stealing time. And yes, it can mean that. It can mean that you're stealing something from your own energy, or someone is betraying you, or things like that. I also look at this card as something positive, because yeah, he's looking at those, says, yeah, well, I'm leaving that behind. I don't need them. I've got these ones here, and I'm moving on into a new future, and that future is bright. That future is grounded in, and it's got spiritual, universal blessings. I'm moving on into a new future, and I don't need these. This is baggage that I don't need. I'm only taking with me what I need. And that could also be the message here for this particular period as well, between the new moon on the Wednesday until the following Tuesday, that you could be making that transition. This is where you are. As I said, you're settled, you're happy, and so on, but you want more. You want to move on. Okay, so you can do that. You can either steal from yourself and become complacent and stay stuck in the mud kind of situation, or you can leave these behind, take what you need, and move into that bright new future. So that's what I'm getting for you with this particular reading. You have a choice here, really, haven't you? Let's see if there's anything else that I'm getting. There's always hope, is what I'm being told. There's always hope. No matter what the situation is, there is always hope. There's one thing that we always should remember, that it is one thing that I learned a long time ago. I'm not recalling now who first said it. It might have been someone like Zig Ziglar, but he said basically, no matter how bad you feel, there's always someone somewhere who's worse off. And that is true. So you're in this little situation here, and it's nowhere near as bad as it looks at first. Okay, it's nowhere near as bad. So you got your hands tied a little bit loosely. You got that blindfold on, and you don't even know these things that are around you, where they're coming from or what they're doing there. But you can quite easily, as I've said, release yourself, take the blindfold off, and walk away. And by doing so, you can leave behind old baggage that you no longer need. Because if you look at his face, right, he's having a look at them and saying, do I need them? No, I don't. I don't need them. I've got what I need. Now I'm going to move on now into my bright new future. So blue is the colour of the mind. It's also the throat chakra. It's the colour of the throat chakra, to do with communication, speaking, and so on. So it could be something there. The green is to do with the heart in the chakra system. To do with healing. And it's also to do with being grounded. It's your emotions. So you know exactly what you're doing here. You have the choice of moving forward or staying stuck. Because like I said, this is a transition card, and yeah, it's nice. You could stay in this comfort zone. It doesn't mean to say that this comfort zone is going to disappear, but the way things are at this moment, with the pandemic and everything like that, and the economy, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with the company that you work with or the business that you run. You don't know. There's been some very surprising business decisions made over the last month or two, especially here in UK, with hospitality or with travel industry and so on like that being seriously affected, and also even within, like, you could say, trademark standards like the engineering industry, they've been badly affected as well, surprisingly. And with that, when one company goes under, that has a knock-on effect on many others. Sometimes hundreds of different companies, and that affects thousands of jobs. And that's a kind of prediction that the government are making, that there's going to be a lot more job losses and so on, and that means a lot more people looking for far fewer jobs, and they're not always ideal jobs either. So you could have a couple of hundred people looking for a minimal wage job, you know, and obviously the ones they're going to choose for that are probably the ones who are more experienced in that kind of work. And if you're new to that sector, you know, there's not much chance. If you know, if your age is against you or your experience is against you, you know, there isn't a lot of hope. But don't let it get you down. There's always hope. There's always a glimmer of light. Whether it's because you'll be able to start something new for yourself, you know, maybe some kind of online business, retailing, or maybe something that you do that you make, or you and your partner make. You can start doing that online, or a way of serving others. You know, maybe you start a charity of some kind. You can help out others. You know, something rewarding. Or you go into something like social care. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I mean, that's one of the more steadier kind of jobs, if you like, and kind of work, because you know, it has a high sort of rate of people leaving half the time. But then again, that may have also changed during this period that we're living in, because you know, people want to keep their work because they know that the job prospects out there are a lot less. So you have a choice. You can stay here in this comfort zone. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go all kaput. However, if you do make a choice to move on, don't let it overwhelm you. You know, don't let these negative thoughts get to you and blind you into thinking that there's no way out. And it doesn't have to be thoughts. This could be other people saying, "No, you're a fool to give up that job. You know, you had all that success and you're giving up that job. What are you doing that for?" You know, you go your own journey. You got something, a skill or a talent which will bring benefit to people. That's going to be recognized. You know. So a pretty good reading, all in all, I would say. Maybe a 50-50 reading. I'm just going to pull a Chakra Wisdom card to see if I can get any more clarity on why perhaps that Eight of Swords is there. Facade. I've got facade. Okay. So here we have, you know, young person, young lad, maybe walking with his dad or granddad, walking across clouds, and you've got the tree there. So it gives the impression, you know what clouds are like. It gives the impression, if you fly, you know, the clouds give the impression of being solid, but they're not. You know, so there's something not quite right. Even though they're walking on it, they're able to do that. So what I'll do, I'll just look it up in the book and find out what the book says about facade. So that's under yellow. Facade. Okay. So, bronze god. This isn't who I am. Okay, here we go. So the legend is, the bronze boy, Darnell, was young when his father died and he became the man of the family. Out for a walk one day, many years later, he was mesmerized by the sight of children playing. As a child, he had never played, and he hid behind a tree crying bitterly. Then quickly buried his emotions. At the very end of his life, on his way to heaven, he stopped at the park and finally reclaimed the inner child he had left behind many years before. There you go. So if you are unhappy in your relationships, you may be relating to others through a false sense of duty. Give up being something you're not. So this could well be that all this is a facade, and what you really want to do is here, but you're scared to give it up. you know, because this is the life you've created, but it's not the real life that you actually want. Okay. So the bronze god is about reclaiming life. What have I done to heal my childhood pain? And disassociating from yourself, reclaiming your life, healing childhood pain, recovery, integration, and play. So rediscover your inner child, that basically says, you know. So your inner child could also be your passion. What's your passion? Okay, what's your passion? What is it you really want to do? What will really bring you true happiness? Now, true celebration. What skills or talents have you got that you could use to move your life forward? So you can still have this, but maybe from another source. You can still have that as well, but then you're leaving these two behind. Okay, and you're rediscovering your inner child. So you have that ability. Leave them behind. Yeah, leave them behind. Take with you what you need and what serves you best. Yeah, the choice is yours. What is it you want to do? That's all I'm getting for you for this time. Obviously I can't go much further than that because you've got to make your own decision. You know, I can't make that choice for you. But I think it's a very thoughtful or thought-provoking reading. You know, on the first outset it looks brilliant, but then with the eight of swords, you know, you have those doubts. There's something more to it, and that's what it is. It's possible that you're living a life that you think is real and it's not really what you really want, and you have the chance, perhaps, I'm not saying you have, but perhaps you've got the chance to change that over the next week or so, or moving on, you know, because this energy doesn't just last for this next 7 days or whatever. It carries on, you know. The new moon energy carries on long after you know, the full moon's even gone, you know. So this energy, it means something along the lines of, if you want to make change, you can, but be careful about the plans you make. Don't rush into it. Be steady, you know. So there's a caveat to it as well. I guess it will become clearer as we move on. However, I would suggest you have a look at the moon cycle reading that I did there, because it talks about starting off a period kind of like this, you know, where you're stuck in a mud or whatever, and then you transform. By the end of the cycle you will have transformed. So it's about, first of all, hanging on to what you've got at the start of the cycle, and by the end of the cycle you will have transformed. You've become completely different, you know. You'll have discovered your inner child. So have a look at the moon cycle reading, which is up and ready, available for you to look at. I thank you once again for coming back to this channel. I welcome all new subscribers as well, and I really appreciate all your support, guys, on here as well as on Patreon, and details below in the description about how you can continue to support me as well. Alright then, guys, I thank you once again for this opportunity to share these thoughts with you, and until next time, namaste.